guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new, make sure you hit that subscribe button and let's get right into this video. So it is day 5, I'm pretty sure, of our full week of nail sets leading up to Christmas. So today we are doing some beginner friendly short blue winter nails. I thought this design looked super simple and I feel like we should do some more blue nail sets for this season. So I am actually using my non-dominant hand today for this video. My dominant hand is my right hand and I feel really bad for my left hand having to go through doing so many nail sets in such a short amount of time. So I decided to do my right hand today just to switch it up, give my left hand a break. And as I was doing this nail set, you know, it's really come to my attention that using your non-dominant hand for doing nails is actually really hard. We all know this, obviously. I haven't done my right hand in so long that I kind of forgot about this. So I did kind of struggle in this video to do some of the nail art, but it was doable. And I really want to give you guys some tips or some pointers on using your non-dominant hand for when you're doing your nails. Honestly, it all comes down to the angles of your hand, like how you are working on your hand and how you're holding all of your tools, like the nail drill, the polygel brush, the nail art brushes. The way you hold your tools and the way you angle your hands has a big impact of how easy it is to do your nails using your non-dominant hand. And honestly, these are just some of the things that I was thinking about while I was doing this hand. So like, what was giving me struggles? What was easy to do? And then what did I do that helped me to make it easier? So we'll be talking about some of that stuff later, but for right now we are just doing all the nail prep. Usually when I glue on tips on my right hand, they're always crooked. I know for sure that my ring finger, like my actual finger, is kind of crooked. So you have to balance that out and then you have to make the nail tip kind of tilt the other way so that it looks straight. So that's always a struggle with this hand, is gluing on the nail tips. Fortunately for me, I do use a peel off base coat. So if I do glue on the tip crooked, I can just easily take it off and fix it. But if you're doing your nails normally, the nail tips are going to be stuck on there after one try. So it's best to figure out if any of your fingers are crooked and just kind of see how you have to place the nail tip on to make it look straight. I don't know, that's kind of the best advice I can give for gluing on the nail tips. And then now I'm painting on the base coat. Painting on the base coat isn't super hard for me. You just have to take it really slow and just try and keep your hand as steady as possible. Okay, now we are going to get into the polygel application. So when you're putting on your polygel, you always want to make sure you're checking your nail from all angles, like all the time. So when you are smoothing out the nail and getting the structure of the nail correct, you just want to make sure you look at the sides, look at the tip of the nail, and then see how your structure is looking. If the nail is too thick, maybe take off some of the excess. I always tend to make my nails on my right hand way thicker than I normally would, and I'm not really sure why I do that. I think after a while of fixing the nail, I just don't really care about the thickness anymore. So when you're holding your polygel brush, you just want to make sure you're holding your brush exactly how you would hold it in your dominant hand. Make sure you have a nice steady hold on the brush. So I noticed, usually when I do my left hand, I put my thumb on one side of my nail and then my hand is facing me, like the palm of my hand is facing me. But I noticed that when I was doing my right hand, I mostly did my nails with my palm facing away from me and like my fingers straight out. It seemed like that was the easiest way to do the nails when I was using my left hand. So you just gotta find the angles that work for you and make doing your nails easier for you. And I'm going to keep saying this throughout this video, but just take it slow, because that was the best thing that helped me throughout this whole nail set, was just doing the nails slower than what I would normally do, doing more little movements rather than, you know, my confident movements that I normally know how to do. So just take it slow and always just try and figure out the best angle for when you're applying the polygel. Okay, so once all the polygel is applied, we're going to get shaping these nails. So I'm first going to remove all of the sticky layer from the nails. And then I'm just going to get reshaping. So I didn't speed this part up as much as I normally do because I wanted to give you the chance to be able to see how I'm shaping the nails a little easier. Shaping with my hand file wasn't really a big problem for me. You just constantly want to check how your nail is doing from all of the angles so that you're just making sure that you're shaping the nail the way you want it to and making sure that you're not overfiling or underfiling the nail. Okay, so after all the shaping's done, we're going to get into the nail art. So nail art for me was definitely the most struggle out of this entire video. Like I said before, I haven't done my right hand in a very long time, so I'm a little bit rusty with the nail art. I'm not as steady. Sometimes I made a few mistakes and I had to clean up the nail, but I feel like the best thing that helped me here was just taking it slow. Like I said before, during the polygel application, take it slow with the nail art. I was just mostly trying to use the tip of my nail art brush, and I was only putting gel polish right at the tip and then just making smaller movements. Sometimes instead of moving my nail art brush, I would just hold the nail art brush in place and then move my actual hand to draw on some of the parts, especially for the French tips, because it was a little bit hard to make the rounded shape, to draw the line starting from the cuticle to come up to make the rounded almond shape. It was a little hard to do that. And like I said before with the polygel, I feel like I was doing the same thing where I was mostly doing the nail art with my palm facing away from me, because I feel like I always have my palm facing me, and I feel like a lot of the time in this video I was mostly putting my hand flat on the table, and that seemed to be the easiest way to do the nail art. When I was doing the pinky nail, that nail was kind of a struggle. The French tip was just not coming out right. It was really shaky. At some points, you just have to accept that the nail art might not look perfect. So I just tried to make the lines look as straight as I could, and then I just cured it and moved on. But luckily, doing the French tip on the thumbnail was super easy. So for this nail art, the pointer finger is a white French tip, the pinky and the thumbnail is a blue French tip, and then the ring finger is a half French tip. Half of the nail is a white French tip, and then the other half I made it a full blue side. I really like that design. That's why I chose this nail set. I thought that ring finger design was really cool. And then the middle nail is going to have some snowflake nail art that we're going to do after. So once all of the base nail art is done, I'm just putting on some matte top coat over all of the nails, because all of our next nail art is going to be either covered in dip powder or covered in glitter, so we can't top coat that. So we are putting on the top coat first. Okay, so we are doing some sweater nail art, and on the thumb, we're just going to use that same light blue gel polish. I'm starting with 2 lines towards the sides of the nail, leaving that space in the middle for the middle pattern design. And honestly, I did not try at all on those little squiggly things. I just accepted whatever my first attempt was, and I was like, yeah, that's good enough. I'm not even gonna try again. And then I did those little stripes on the side. And this is me absolutely struggling to try and find the right angle to do the other side of the thumbnail. That was just a big problem with doing this other hand, is that it's just so hard to find some of the angles to do some of the nail art. And then once I'm done with that design, I just poured some dip powder over the gel polish. And then you want to make sure that you cure the nail first before you dust it off. And I'm doing the same thing on the pinky nail. And then I'm doing the same thing on the white French tip, but this time obviously using the white gel polish. And then for the half French tip, I'm just basically doing half of that sweater nail art. So only doing one of those vertical lines and then half of the wavy lines that are in the middle. And then on the middle finger, this one's going to have 2 small snowflakes. So with the snowflake nail art, you just want to take it really slow when you're adding in the lines through the dots, because you want to make these lines thin so that the dots are able to stand out. So just try and use the tip of your brush, try and use very little gel polish for this part. And then I'm just going to pour glitter over that. Then on the half French tip nail, on the blue side, we're just doing half of a snowflake. So we finished all the nail art and now we're just going to add on some cuticle oil. Here are how the nails turned out. Let me know what you guys think of this nail set in the comments. So using my non-dominant hand that I haven't done a nail set with in a while, I'm actually very proud of how the design turned out. Obviously some of my nail art, like, we're not gonna point fingers, but you know, the pinky nail is looking a little funny with some of the nail art, but at some points you just gotta accept it and move on. So this nail set did take me much longer than what it would have taken me if I used my dominant hand. I think maybe it took me an hour more or maybe 30 minutes more. I'm not too sure, but I know it did take me longer, and that's just because I was moving much slower than what I normally would be. And that's kind of what you have to do when you're using your non-dominant hand. After a while, if you do practice a lot, you can definitely get faster and you can get better. I remember a long time ago when I always did both of my hands, using my non-dominant hand was not a struggle at all. I actually got really used to it. You just have to keep practicing and eventually it'll just become easier and easier. So I hope I was able to give you guys some tips and some help when using your non-dominant hand, and I hope you enjoyed this beginner-friendly blue winter nail set. But that is pretty much it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you all tomorrow. Bye!